Hello, everyone. So, our third challenge was about buttons, but most of the time we talked about the primary buttons design in it. So, by the end of the video, I realized that it will be best if I create a separate video for the secondary buttons. So, let's break it down. We stopped here. Now you can see that this button is more lifted, more interactive, and this is bit plain boring right next to it. So it means we need to match the designs. So let me show you what is happening. So we started by creating these buttons without shadows. As you can see, if I select this button, there is no effect applied on it. No inner shadows, no drop shadows, meaning this is a flat button. So all of them are, and these two look really good paired right next to each other. It means, it just simply means if you want to go in this design or even something like this, adding a little bit of bluish shade and moving it here and removing the stroke. So even if you want to have this kind of design, when there are no shadows involved, it will be a flat design. So that's the simplest definition I could think of. So this is what you can do. It won't look bad. It works fine. And even with this design, you can add some drop shadow. So a light drop shadow even in the dark color. So opacity by default is 25. I'm gonna reduce it to 16 and even reduce the this value but increase the blur. So you can have some drop shadows to show the interactivity alongside the shade change. It can be in the default on the default icon, and even in this one, when you are pressing, you can have some effect like change the color in the of the fill in the secondary colors, or even have a little bit of shadow on it. So again, we can also try going for blue color and reducing the opacity a little and increasing the blur. So there are different things you can do, but most of them we will be related to adding only a drop shadow. The inner shadow is what was making our designs yesterday more 3D, more lifted, more interactive. So this is one thing you can do, keep things flat or add drop shadows, blackish or matching the color of this and reducing the opacity. So that's the one thing you can try. So to match the design. So mostly I will be talking about how this will affect your pairing of primary and secondary buttons. So these two paired won't look weird or like weird actually. So now this is the what we want to do now. So I experimented with a few designs on what we can do, and we will be testing these things. So I'm gonna tell you the quick trip tips. So this is the version that we stopped at. So here you can see that on the primary button, I have applied a few shadows. So on the drop shadow, you can see there is a bluish shadow below it that expands outside the button. Then there is an inner shadow of white that says that looks like there is a 45-degree light coming from the top. And there is another inner shadow, which is a darker color we chose from our colors, and at the bottom. It is placed at the bottom, uh, the right side at the bottom, and it shows like the light could not reach here. So this is what we are doing with the primary. So we need to do something similar here. Means the light will be coming for the 40 and the 45 degrees, and this will be darker, and this needs to have something. The fill is the problem for at this point. So when I was experimenting what we can do, I tried a few things. Honestly, to start with, what you can do is just go here. You have worked hard on this, creating these shadows. So just copy the effects. So I'm going to select these. I selected one. When it shows the hand, I clicked, it's selected. I'm pressing control and sorry, shift. I'm pressing shift and clicking everything that I want to select from top to bottom. Okay, it's not working. One, two, three. Yeah, that's how it is. So I copied it. I'm just gonna press Control C, or you can, and you can then click here and Control V for the pasting. I'm selecting the secondary button and I applied all the shadow work here. So what is wrong with this? Having this outline is a problem. So we can experiment with the outline, but it will require some gradient talk. So I don't want to make this video longer. Maybe some other day if somebody is interested, I already get the request. So right now, the first thing with the that is wrong with this is the shadow. So let's remove this. Sorry, shadow, not shadow, the stroke, the border. So I'm going to remove that. Now, what I'm left with is this. So there are quite a few things we can do. So let's talk about how to make this secondary, but still apply the shadows and keep the interactive look. So I'm going to zoom in a way that you can see this and this. So this is the one thing, like you have the top shadow, but white over white, it doesn't look good. Mean we need to do something. So I'm going to find my white shadow. Yep. And I'm gonna make it a little gray. So it looks like there is something on the top. So that's the one thing I'm doing, making it a little blue like this. Okay, let's see what happens. On the bottom, of course, white is not here. I was using the blue color to keep the blue tone and still make it look darker. But here on white, it definitely is not working. So for my the other darker inner shadow, I'm gonna go for this bluish, but towards the gray look. Right now, everything looks decent, but the drop shadow being being blue is the problem. So what I want to do is also make this gray. So this is the one thing you can do. So I have dropped everything that was related to blue color in the fill and the shadows. It is not bad, but I definitely don't like it because this pairing, it is not very, like, it is not as standing out. I would probably try it with the gradients and stuff. So this was the first experimentation. Let's go back, revert the changes. I'm gonna bring back the effects here. I'm gonna remove the ones I have already applied so it doesn't duplicate them. Apply them again, and here we are again. Now I saw what happened. So I am gonna go do this. So yesterday we had three colors, three primary colors. So what I am gonna do is I want the fill to be not blue because that was making the grayish shadows on the top look a bit ugly. So what I'm gonna do, what I did is, so my color was this, the lightest one. So I just dragged the colors to this corner, making them like leaving slight tint of blue, but this is still the fresh white. And this is a little darker than this one. So this. So the idea, just to give you a little idea on why these colors. So here, when I was choose these two colors were close. You can see on this. So here it is, and you can check the values, and it is this value is changed, these values are changed, and a bit of this pointer is changed, meaning I was using these two colors to show the change, but not that much that it changes drastically. So now I need two colors like this so I can show the hover and the default state. So I definitely can't keep these two because they were used in the primary. So I introduced two more colors in the line. Now I'm gonna copy these two colors so I can place them here, here. So I'm gonna go and on default state, I'm gonna change my fill to this lighter color. It is already better. Now, what I have to do is zoom in and see what else is wrong. So fill is good, nice. You know what? I want to have this. So the pattern we are following is this, that a darker color becomes lighter on the when pressed and hovered upon. So this is should be default and this should be one and that comes after the hover. So I fixed that. Now this blue shadow is definitely a mess, but you can see that this white is working fine. The white shadow on the top, the 45-degree light one is working great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the blue shadow at the bottom. Here it is. You can see that the color is 100%. That's what the problem is because it's not merging. Here it was because the color was working differently. So instead of changing the color, you can experiment with changing the color and making it light, honestly. So it can go like this. But I don't want to introduce more colors. Like that's something I try to refrain doing unless there is a need. So your choice, what you want to do. I'm just gonna go reduce the opacity. So I think 20. Wow, that's a nice thing. Try lesser. Oh, 16 is not visible. Maybe 24. Yeah, it looks good. If I zoom in, it is notice zoom out to 100%, it is still noticeable. So here we have the secondary button. Now these two look good paired to even each other. The difference, the hierarchy is noticeable. There is one thing you can also do in addition to this is you see we are using this as a primary color here. And if you want to make the text darker, you can pick the darker color and increase this color, this text color. So if you think it is not legible anymore, but for me, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. So like it's all about how detail you want and how much experiments you want to do. Yeah, it passes. No, it doesn't pass the accessibility. So we probably want to change the color. But for with this video, we won't be touching the accessibility basics. Anyways, now this design simply, thanks to Figma, what I can do is copy the properties. Since we need to change the fill, we need to apply the shadows. Everything else is same between default and focus state and even loading state. So I'm gonna paste the same settings here. Sweet. Now for this one, what happened is that we need to give it this of the fill. The fill will be the lighter one. Here we have it. Now this is a serious accessibility problem. So what I want to do is keep this color and make this lighter, darker. So on this in the secondary situation, we want the text to have sorry text to have the darker color. It won't look bad. Just give it a minute. So I made the text color same, and now I want these colors, maybe these same that I edited the effect. I should apply them and see if they work. So applied them. I need to get rid of the stroke. Hmm. I think the same shadows look fine on this. I want to quickly test this. Paste the variation here. Get a frame around it. Give it a fill. Play it. Yeah, it looks reasonable. Like difference is noticeable. We can also try to mess with the colors a little bit. to show the difference, like the color of the shadows, meaning these shadows becoming darker. But I remember we didn't do this to these buttons, and the difference was not that in the primary. I'm talking about the primary button. So let's copy these styles, copy and paste them here. So this is all we had to talk about. If you you don't want to continue watching the videos, I think you can stop here. But I will continue to show you how Figma can help us apply all of this quickly on these. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna apply. This is a 52 points button. We have a difference in padding. So I can select my default and focused and loading state and apply Control V and apply everything on them. You see the size change? That's because the padding is changed. So I'm gonna go ahead and increase it back to 28. So the sizing stays the same. Now I'm gonna copy these changes as from for the pressed and hover state, and I'm gonna apply these, and I'm gonna increase the padding. So there are two different types of copy pasting is being done. One that I am applying, I'm copying all the properties that have been applied, the shadows, the fill, the drop shadow and the inner shadow, and even if there is any other effect applied, so everything will be copied by this Control Alt C, your copy properties, and also the padding. Yes. So everything that is applied on this frame will be copied. But if you want to copy just one thing, which means effect, this one effect, you can just select this one and Control C and apply it somewhere else. Or you can press Shift and Control all of these, then Control C and apply everywhere else. I think in the future videos we will be using the saved styles more, because I think this back and forth action of bringing the colors with the experimentation might be slightly confusing for the beginners. So we will be moving towards the styling as soon as we can, because that will be easy to watch the videos on. That way the videos will be easy. So now I'm gonna apply the same things on here. One, third, and fourth. Okay. I pasted it. It's changed the size because the padding was different. So I'm gonna remove the padding. This is a fixed width button. So I want this fixed to be the width to be 40. Now again, gonna do the same. It's a fixed width button. I don't want any padding. Perfect. Now I'm gonna copy the style from this one. So wrong. These three, paste, 0 and 52 sized button. Now this, control copy here, Control V, and I am gonna change the size to this and remove the padding. So we have everything for the secondary buttons. Now there is one more detail that I changed, was this. So this button, this color, I changed them. So I'm selecting all the other buttons for pressed and hover state, and I want to update the color for better visibility. So here I'm going to find the color. You can manually click the elements by doing this, but I know what colors are being used, so I'm just going to go quickly update the code there. So I I forgot to select all of them again, but still we have fixed it. Now we have the buttons which are slightly more a lot more interactive than those buttons, the flat buttons. There is one more tip I want to share here is, if you want this to be a little more interactive and have more depth, like having press states and this button looking like a more closer to the actual buttons you see at the home, you can experiment with the gradients. So that is something we'll probably talk about in not very soon future. But yeah, you can try that. Feel free to experiment with the gradients with the other tips combined. And see you guys in some other video.